How's it going, everybody? This is Secret Jerry or Hayden here. I'm gonna be doing a track breakdown of my new track, Imaginary Friend. It just dropped. This is what it sounds like.
Secret Jerry.
All right, so here is a pretty big overview of the project file here. I'm in FL Studio, as you can see. So let's start with this intro here. Nothing too crazy going on, but this is more or less what it sounds like.
Are you afraid of something? Imaginary friend.
All right, so I skipped around there quite a bit. I'm sure that was annoying, but you get the idea. So something I've kind of always done is I'll start the track with like a little riser type bit to just kind of lead into the intro. So you can hear that here. Like it's just a Cashmere riser thing. So a couple things going on here. We have some impacts. This is more in the sub range. Some Foley stuff. I think that's from the Emerge pack. So this is kind of cool. That's actually me breathing, like kind of scared into a microphone. I think I pitched it up. So that's kind of playing throughout. This is, okay, some more Foley stuff. These just kind of layer with the impacts, give it some more texture. And then this is kind of a big part of this whole intro piece is I took little clips of screams and just reverbed the fuck out of them. And so when you play that with everything, it makes some pretty gnarly sounding impacts. And I'm really just going for like a creepy, like tortured sound. And I think like those screams really help out there. So I've got this, what I'm calling a melody, which is silly because it's not that at all. But this is, Jesus Christ, it's not what I wanted. So this is like a default serum patch that I think I fucked with a little bit. I don't know if that's what it sounds like by default, but then I did some post-processing on it, nothing crazy. Let me pull my mixer over so you can see. So really the biggest thing here is this Spaz plugin. This was free. I don't know if it's still free, but this is a really cool distortion plugin. It just has a ton of just presets and it can really just fuck up a sound and turn it into something completely new. So I've got that running and then just some sound goodizers, some EQ. I'm keeping a lot of low in there. And then frequency shifter, which looks like it's not doing anything. No, I think I used that. Okay, yeah, I turned that on down here. Anyways, default serum patch. And then this used to be a banjo, I guess. That's just a flex preset. Again, I'm post-processing the fuck out of it, but nothing crazy there. Another screamy type sound. Yeah, and it's pretty simple. My intros are never that crazy. They're not very musical at all. It's just a lot of like Foley and atmosphere, I guess. Kicks are in here somewhere. That's kind of, yeah, here they are. So yeah, just kind of adding to the impacts. Where things get a bit more interesting is when I go into the B section of the intro. So just a lot of risers and shit there, but there's also this screaming female. So that's I'm using that as basically a riser to go into this B section.
Are you afraid of something?
Yes.
And so the idea here is kind of like it's supposed to be a child talking to like a therapist or some kind of doctor about their imaginary friend. So again, it's like a lot of Foley texture stuff. Got this pad here. It's pretty cool. Some static. Just a lot more impacts.
Are you afraid of something?
Yes.
So this dialogue here.
What is it you're afraid of?
My imaginary friend.
So again, that's actually me just recording my voice. I pitched one of them down. Looks like about 3 semitones, and then I pitched the other one up about 3 semitones. So I basically double as like the adult therapist, psychiatrist here, and then also as the child. But I think it works pretty well.
Are you afraid of something?
Yes.
It works like well enough. I think it's pretty convincing. I got this thrown in there. And then the other thing I'm doing is kind of hinting at the drop. So it's pretty quiet, but I've got that bass sound pitched over to the right, just to kind of tease what's coming. And then still using this distorted voice deal. A little bit of percussion. Kind of spooky. It sounds really organic, I think. Reverse cymbals. So yeah, that's the intro. Now let's get into the good shit. Kind of how I lead into the drop here is with this like just big gap of silence that's, a whole 4 bars long. And I think that just really helps like when the drop does kick in, because it's significantly louder and it just feels like that much more powerful because of this silence. And also like the cool Secret Jerry name drop. I really like that. I think it's neat. But so this is kind of what that sounds like.
Yes.
What is your friend's name?
Secret Jerry.
And all hell breaks loose. So let's start with the drums here. It's basically just kick snare. Mixed with some crashes. Some reverse crashes. And then like kind of at the beginning of new sections of the drop, something a bit more high pitched, using an agony crash there to layer with everything. And it just, adds a little bit extra impact when the drop does hit. So pretty simple drums. And honestly, I usually do keep my drums simple like this. I'm just not that creative when it comes to arranging drums, something I need to definitely improve on. So let's get into the basses here. There's basically 3 main things happening here. So we have this like gnarly distortion. And what this is, it's from a Dala pack, I believe. Yeah, so from the Dala sample pack too, he's got a bunch of just crazy bass sounds. So that's the original thing. Then, I just processed the fuck out of it. So frequency shifting, EQ, that Spaz plugin again. Seriously, this thing is sick. Camel Crusher, Fruity Reverb. I rarely use that anymore, so I'm surprised to use that there. Another frequency shifter, another EQ. Okay, yeah, I have the, so that must be the second frequency shifter. I'm automating the frequency here to kind of have it go up, down, up. But yeah, it's that same sample, just using different sections of it. And so that kind of plays throughout. And then another distortion here. The gritty, noisy sound. I believe this is from the Punishment sample pack. Yeah, Punishment sample pack 2. And so all this is doing is really just to serve as layering for this sound, which is kind of the main bass sound throughout the first drop here. This is also from the Punishment pack, but this is the original sound. Like, just listen to the difference. So, I mean, like, it's the same thing, but, you know, you can really change the sound when you get into the post-processing. So when you layer that with this noisy, gritty sound, you know, it just does a little extra there. So those playing together is like this. Cool. And then we have some more sounds here that just kind of help lead the two different sounds, help them flow together. So just like a little extra going on. And then to keep going here, layering with this sound. I don't know where this came from, but it's really cool. Looks like just some splice pack, but it's just a laser sound. So when you layer that with, you know, these other bass sounds, it does a lot. The other thing is this is also being panned to the sides. So it makes it sound a bit bigger. I'm using the Haas or House. I think this is kilohertz. Yeah. That plugin. I use this a lot, actually, to kind of throw sounds to the side. And when you're layering like guns like this, it can do a lot to really fill it out and give it a lot more character. On that same point, I'm also layering with this sound, which I think this started as like a Virtual Riot bass one shot that I fucked with and made it a lot more just mid. So again, just to add a bit more texture. And then I think this is just like a hat percussion. Yeah, so idea being when you combine all these together, you're just making a bigger sound. Like this alone without those, it just doesn't have just no kind of impact, no transient. So a lot of layering going on here for these like stabby gun sounds. So something else I'm doing here is throughout these drops, I'm playing more scream type sounds. This just kind of helps fill things out, but also give it, I hate to say some like musicality, some tonality, but it does help a little bit and it helps it flow a bit more. But also like keep it gnarly because this is literally, you know, a scream. And then the sub, nothing special going on here. I am automating the pitch and serum to kind of help it flow. Like to kind of follow like the flow of the drop. And not have a super stagnant sub. It's still pretty, it doesn't have a lot of movement, but messing with the pitch does help. And as far as like the sub itself, I forgot the YouTube channel, but I think this is just a preset from, I think they're Excellent Sound or something like that. They did a video about making subs, but it's just a sine wave that, you know, just messed with, I don't know what you call it, but it's not like a perfect sine wave. It's a little bit distorted. And then this is automating the coarse pitch, so it gives it like a little bit of thump, almost like a kick. There's so many different ways to do that. I just like this preset. I just toss it on there and it works. Something else I forgot to mention that I'm seeing here with the sub is you'll notice that everything is off grid by a beat. This is a trick that I think this is pretty common, especially like in tear out, in the heavier dubstep genres. But if you take things off grid, it can really help the flow of a track. It's a trick I learned from Nimda. I wasn't doing it before, but then I started just kind of moving everything a beat off. And if you build the track that way, like it works really well. And also helps like with your kick and snare punching through the mix. Moving right along here, second drop, switched up the flow a little bit, and this one is a lot more gunny. So still using some of those basses from the first drop. I think they're different. I think I pitched them differently. Maybe they're being processed differently. But this distortion sound that I'm layering with everything, that's exactly the same. The biggest change here is bringing in this sound, which, where did this come from? Oh, this is one of my sounds. Jesus. Okay, so this is the original thing. And I got it to sound like this. But yeah, I'm kind of using it as a gun layer here. Jeez, yeah, that's heavy. And then it's still being layered with these other sounds as well. So this is being panned to the side. Just like a clicky kind of sound. But it does a lot to make this seem really like canon-y. Also have a lot of these fills playing throughout, and some of these are super sick because what I did was I again recorded my voice. Okay, I really want to hear what this sounds like without the processing. Yeah, so I think all I did there was like snorted, like. But if you go in and process it, that shit sounds crazy. Like, here you go. Okay, and processed. Like it's cool demon monster now. The Spaz plugin. Again, that's running the show here. OTT, Wave Shaper, some reverb, cutting out the lows. But anyways, that's how a lot of these fills were made. But yeah, this one was another one I made with my mouth. But yeah, dude, recording yourself making dumb sounds and processing the shit out of them leads to super cool results. So fucking do that shit. Head over to the break section here. Foley sounds, a lot of impacts. Super cool sound. So this is neat. This sound is very prominent in the second drop. We'll get to that. So kind of hinting at it here in this break section. It's really quiet. I don't even know if you can hear it. Oh yeah, you can hear it. It's there. Definitely in this section where I take away a lot of the elements and it's quieter again. The same idea as the first drop, really turning everything down, chilling out. So when that drop comes in, it's really impactful. But yeah, I'm really teasing that sound that plays throughout the first half of the second drop here. Spooky little kid voice saying Secret Jerry. Yeah, that's my voice again, same as before, just pitched. And yeah, so that leads us into the second drop.
Secret Jerry.
So this is all the same shit from the first drop, just some different sounds, but these two sounds here, this is playing throughout the whole thing. I'm layering this with every time the bass hits, except for those distortion sounds. So anytime it's like a gun sound, this is layered in there. Okay, these are super cool sounds. There's a Triune Films gun Foley pack, and this is more for like filmmaking sound design. But they have all kinds of weapon Foley, and when you like layer this shit with guns, it's just so fucking cool. Pan to the sides, same shit as before. And here's that distortion sound that's layered with the guns as well. And then it's this screamy sound. Oh, and also this. So it's like a lot of the same elements from before, but almost a bit more minimal now. Like kind of letting the gun layers speak for themselves. There's this scream sound, but that's not really like a bass. Missed this in the first drop, but there's a lot of these Foley water sounds that are those are layered in with the fills. I'm doing the same thing here. But instead of that distortion sound I was using in the first drop, it looks like I did something with granulizer here in a sound design session. I don't know about you, but that shit sounds painful and super cool. Layered with more screaming. Ooh. Yeah, so there's that. And then getting into the second half of this last drop here. All this is it's all the same sounds from the first drop. I just kind of rearranged them a little bit differently. I think I wrote like 2 or 3 second halves of this drop and just could never get it sounding how I wanted. So I eventually just took all that shit from the first drop and brought it back over here. I think it works. It's a bit lazy, but I think it kind of ties the whole track together instead of bringing in some brand new sounds, which is what I was trying to do. Really not much to show here. It's just the arrangement's a bit different. And like the laziest outro of all time. Secret Cherry voice, little impact, some cymatics white noise, this wood sound again, and then some Foley stuff. So yeah, that's Imaginary Friend. I hope this track breakdown was insightful. This is the first time I've done one of these, so kind of all over the place. My recording is like 35 minutes right now, so I'm gonna try to edit this down. So we'll see how long the final video is. Yeah, so the song's out everywhere. Go buy it, go listen to it, throw it in your playlist, send it to your mom, send it to your grandma. Fucking play it for your dog. Definitely send it to your non-EDM friends. They'll really love it. So yeah, there you go. First track breakdown video. I know I'm all over the place. I'll get better. I plan on doing one of these for every release I do this year, and there's 6 that are lined up. So stay tuned for more. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped someone maybe in some way. But yeah, thanks. thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.